XRP is trading around $2 today. But according to longtime XRP advocate and game developer Chad Steingraber, that price is just the starting point. Steingraber argues XRP could one day reach $20,000 per coin, a figure that seems impossible at first glance. However, he lays out a theory backed by utility, institutional adoption, and systemic financial transformation. So let's break it down clearly and critically. This theory is not new. It first appeared in 2022 when Steingraber shared his roadmap for XRP's massive appreciation. What makes it relevant again is the growing traction around central bank digital currencies, CBDCs, tokenized assets, and institutions preparing for on-chain finance. This week, Steingraber doubled down on his prediction, stating on X, "This is how it will." According to him, XRP's path to $20,000 depends on three interconnected drivers. Let's go through them one by one. 1. Tokenized assets on the XRP ledger. The first pillar involves the rise of tokenized real-world assets. Steingraber believes that as stablecoins and CBDCs are issued on the XRP ledger, XRPL, XRP will serve as the settlement asset behind these transactions. In this vision, XRP isn't just a bridge currency. It becomes a foundational piece of infrastructure supporting the transfer of tokenized assets between banks, governments, and corporations. If that happens at scale, demand for XRP would be based on real-world utility, not retail speculation. That's a key distinction in his theory. 2. XRP as a reserve asset. Next, Steingraber argues that XRP will eventually be treated like gold, a reserve asset held by financial institutions to support their internal systems. In other words, instead of using XRP just to send money, banks would store XRP as part of their digital liquidity framework. He claims several institutions are already exploring this. While Ripple hasn't publicly confirmed XRP as a reserve asset at any major central bank, it has partnered with over 40 global financial institutions, and Ripple executives have hinted at private ledger solutions for central banks. If XRP were to become embedded in these systems, the asset's long-term demand could increase significantly. 3. Institutional absorption of public supply. The third and most dramatic part of the theory is this. Institutions will eventually remove XRP from public markets altogether. According to Steingraber, institutions will buy up XRP and lock it into private ledgers, where it will be used exclusively for internal settlements, not traded or sold. This could cause what he calls a supply shock. Based on estimates, only around 20 billion XRP are currently accessible on public markets. Steingraber predicts this could fall below 100 million if institutional demand ramps up quickly. The kind of extreme reduction in supply, paired with strong demand, is the core mechanism behind his $20,000 price target. Public trading as a warm-up. Interestingly, Steingraber downplays the importance of retail markets entirely. He views today's public XRP trading as a pre-game warm-up. He argues that big institutions won't use platforms like Binance or Kraken due to privacy and compliance concerns. Instead, they'll transact through institutional liquidity providers and operate on Ripple-powered private ledgers, bypassing retail altogether. Institutional FOMO, the real price catalyst. Perhaps the boldest part of the theory is the prediction of simultaneous institutional entry. Steingraber envisions a moment where large banks, payment processors, and sovereign funds all rush into the XRP market at once. With little supply left, prices would skyrocket, not for speculation, but to secure enough XRP to power daily financial operations worth trillions. In this world, XRP would no longer be a traded asset. It would be a critical utility token, too valuable to sell. But is it realistic? Let's pause and be fair. The $20,000 price target requires XRP to have a market cap in the hundreds of trillions, far beyond the global economy's current size. Steingraber addresses this by arguing that market cap is not the correct way to measure utility tokens. Still, it's hard to ignore the competition. Projects like Stellar, Ethereum, and Quant are all targeting the same institutional space, and none of them predict valuations in this range. Moreover, adoption takes time. Regulations, legacy system upgrades, and geopolitical factors all play roles. Final thoughts. Steingraber's vision is compelling, but also highly speculative. It paints a future where XRP isn't just a digital asset, it's the backbone of the next financial system. That's a powerful idea. Whether it leads to $20,000 or not, the broader message is clear. XRP's value proposition goes far beyond short-term trading. Let me know in the comments. Do you see the scenario playing out, or is $20,000 XRP too far to stretch? Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more grounded takes on bold crypto theories. See you in the next one.